Australia's weather this week: thunderstorms, heat, monsoon, winds, tropical cyclones, extreme heat, and some brutal meteorological plot twists. Thunderstorms in Southeast Queensland, 2 new tropical cyclones emerging, chaotic days ahead. Oh my goodness, today is a day packed with drama. We've got thunderstorms in Southeast Queensland, a tropical cyclone in the Coral Sea, and yet another system lurking off the northwest coast of Western Australia. Just hearing it already smells like meteorological drama, doesn't it? But don't worry, I'll take you through everything with a journey that's clear, engaging, and above all extremely useful for those living in Queensland, New South Wales, or anyone keeping an eye on South Pacific marine weather. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the VTB Tien channel. Wishing you all an amazing, energetic day. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe right now so you won't miss any important weather updates. And now, no more waiting. Let's jump straight into the biggest threat. And buckle up, because today's weather report is going to be a roller coaster with thunderstorms, convergence zones, southerly winds, tropical cyclones, and a whirlwind of undeniable atmospheric chaos sweeping across Australia. The south, an unexpected soaking, powerful storms making landfalls. This morning, while many people were still sipping their first coffee of the day, a line of thunderstorms quietly formed along the far southern part of the country, sweeping straight from Western Australia all the way to Victoria. Yes, a convergence line as long as a transcontinental railway is dragging the weather mood into new levels of intensity. And it's the exact culprit generating those rolling thunderclouds and explosive lightning flashes streaking across the sky. Melbourne and Adelaide felt this cold touch clearly this morning as rumbling storms swept through, signaling winter is blowing its breath down, getting ready to pull temperatures down notch by notch. Temperature shift. Melbourne cooling down. Sydney and Queensland brace for a heat wave. If you're in Melbourne, don't be surprised if the next few days greet you with a gentle, cold breeze on your face when you open the door. Southerly winds are ramping up, pushing deeper inland and bringing a noticeable cool down. But the heat is not disappearing. It's simply shifting east. New South Wales and Queensland will become the meeting point of extreme heat in the coming days. Looking at today's temperature map, oh my goodness. Australia looks like a giant frying pan, except for southern WA and a few coastal pockets of Victoria that are temporarily cooling down. Why is Australia so hot? Special report: Australia's terrain and climate, the perfect combo for extreme heat. The more you zoom in, the clearer the contrast becomes between Australia's dry interior and its surroundings. The fascinating thing, the equator is very close, yet Australia is much hotter. Why? Vast deserts absorb insane amounts of heat. Basin-like terrain traps heat in the center. Surrounding oceans are not enough to cool the deep interior. There are even mountain peaks in northern Australia with permanent ice year-round, despite being not far from the equator. Australia's climate is truly unique, exotic, unpredictable. Saturday, heat, thunderstorms, winds, atmospheric battles on a large scale. Moving into Saturday, the key points are: the convergence line continues around NSW. Heat spreads strongly to coastal regions. Localized storms appear in Victoria and South Australia, especially around mountainous areas. Western Australia sees storms gradually decreasing. Northern Queensland, continued storms, with some areas receiving heavy rain. A notable highlight: strong northwesterly winds plus the Great Dividing Range's terrain equals a heating effect. Not just hot, but uncomfortably hot. Stuffy, the kind of heat that blasts your face like a hairdryer on max power. Sunday, southern cool winds strike back. Oh my, here comes one of the meteorological twists. Sunday morning, westerly winds will push a cool air mass into Tasmania, then gradually spread to Victoria and South Australia. But going 80 to 150 kilometers inland, the heat remains extreme. Cool in the south, scorching inland, humid in the north, and the east preparing for violent storms. That's why we issued severe weather alerts for NSW. Monday, Strong storms move north. Queensland enters the impact zone. Severe thunderstorm risk expands from NSW straight into Queensland. The rainfall map for Monday afternoon mainly shows daytime precipitation, but atmospheric dynamics indicate Monday evening, night will be the peak storm phase. Areas from Sunshine Coast northwards may see heavy rain, strong storms, even local tornado-like rotations. Darwin and Catherine will also see storms, but they're the typical tropical kind. Common but not too unusual. The biggest highlight of the week, northeast tropical low, ready to become a cyclone. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the main character of the week. In the next 3 days, the tropical low northeast of Australia is expected to strengthen, becoming a tropical cyclone. Current sea surface temperature, 31 degrees Celsius, perfect super fuel for cyclone formation. Good news, it tends to move away from Australia's coast. But it still needs close monitoring because cyclone tracks are as unpredictable as movie plot twists. Tuesday, Wednesday, strong easterlies. Atmospheric systems begin shifting. Easterly winds will appear and stretch from Victoria all the way to Western Australia. Why? The low over northern Australia plus the high to the south create a strong compressed wind channel. Result? NSW risks severe storms again. Remote WA sees more storms. Clouds and scattered rain around Tasmania. Heat continues being pushed south. During this period, wind circulations spin like an atmospheric dance. Thursday, Friday, heatwave shifts south. NSW, Victoria, WA face strong winds, major storms. Thursday, the tropical low drifts toward the Solomon Islands. NSW continues to face severe storm risk. Victoria sees strong winds, sometimes sudden gusts. Perth stays hot through Thursday. Seriously. Friday, heatwave moves deeper into South Australia and Western Australia. Widespread storms across WA. Strong storms along tropical boundaries. NSW may experience multiple consecutive days of severe storms, rare for December. Key highlights: Eastern Australia, multiple storm phases. NSW and Southeast Queensland, center of rain, storms, and drama. Northern regions, seasonal tropical rain. South Australia and Victoria, mostly dry with isolated pockets. Tasmania, mostly dry except the northwest Christmas season is coming. But the weather is not ready to behave yet. The first weekend of December is buzzing with festivals, parades, Christmas celebrations. Whether it's storms, strong winds, or heat waves, stay safe, follow warnings, and enjoy your weekend in the best possible way. Next up, thunderstorms are activating in northeast NSW and southeast Queensland. The situation is starting to heat up for real. As we move toward the weekend, the gateway for thunderstorms has opened. By this afternoon and evening, several areas in northeastern New South Wales and southeastern Queensland may experience some isolated storms. Not strong, not dangerous, but enough to light up the sky with a few mischievous flashes. In fact, right within the black circle you see on the map, if you're watching the video, there is a very small chance of a weak storm developing. However, I'm not placing any bets on it at the moment. Atmospheric instability is still low and the air mass is quite dry. Saturday, scattered storms, a half-hearted atmosphere. On Saturday, some regions in northern central New South Wales, such as Cobar, Lightning Ridge, Orange, may see light storms. The Hunter region, Newcastle, Cessnock, and Singleton also have a chance of catching some light afternoon rumbles. Even Sydney might catch a storm. But sorry, Sydney. Capes are too low and the atmosphere is too dry, so these storms are almost short-lived, forming and dissipating quickly. Convective energy is only around 200 to 500 joules per kilogram, low enough that it's barely sufficient to form a strong storm. So Saturday will be a half-and-half kind of day. Yes, there will be storms, but weak ones. Sunday, the explosive day. Cape above 3,000, dangerous thunderstorms. And here it is, the moment you and I have both been waiting for. Sunday. It will be an extremely important weather milestone. Cape values, convective available potential energy from the mid-north coast NSW up toward Coffs Harbour, surge up to 3,000. For weather enthusiasts, this is when you want to grab your camera and chase the storm clouds. Consequences. Within the black circle on the map, severe, even dangerous thunderstorms are almost guaranteed, including large hail, destructive wind gusts, localized heavy rainfall, continuous lightning like fireworks. Sunday timeline, estimated 3 to 4 p.m. Strong storms begin forming around Terry, Kempsey. 4 to 5 p.m. Explosive storms develop at Coffs Harbour, Grafton. After 6 p.m., storms spread northward but weaken significantly. This is important for Southeast Queensland because as the storms weaken in northern NSW, Brisbane and Gold Coast may avoid the worst of it. A very good piece of news. Storm band in central Queensland, shaping into a squall line. Meanwhile, in central Queensland, late afternoon storms will intensify. After 5 p.m., they may organize into squall lines and sweep eastward. Areas at risk of severe storms include Toowoomba, Kingaroy, Gayndah, Chinchilla, Wivenhoe in June. However, the further north you go, the weaker the storms become. Brisbane and Gold Coast remain within a narrow corridor that avoids the stronger storms. But I must emphasize, this corridor may still shift on Sunday. Lightning displays. Who gets to see them? If you love photographing lightning, congratulations! You're about to have a spectacular Sunday! Forecast models show lightning density between Lismore and northern Toowoomba potentially reaching nearly continuous levels, especially when it exceeds 10 to 15 strikes per minute. If you're standing in, Gold Coast look south, Sunshine Coast look southwest, Lismore look north. You'll get an incredibly impressive light show. Unfortunately, Sunshine Coast might miss most of the strong storms. Unfortunate news since the region really needs rain. Monday, the most unpredictable day of the week. Monday will be either very exciting or very disappointing. And this depends entirely on the morning cloud cover. After Sunday night storms, Southeast Queensland from Warwick to Toowoomba to Brisbane will be nearly 100% cloud covered. This leads to slow temperature rise, stable air, limited cape, storms struggle to form. Therefore, Monday could become a peak severe storm day if clouds clear early, or become completely quiet, with storms unable to develop. Areas that may see strong storms if conditions align: Granite Belt, Darling Downs, Scenic Rim, Ipswich, some NSW border areas, Texas, Stanthorpe. However, Brisbane and Gold Coast still have a very low chance of being affected. After December 12th, strong easterlies, waves of storms coming in. From December 12th onward, a strong moist easterly flow from the Pacific will push deep into inland Queensland. Consequences. Queensland becomes more humid, more showers and convective storms, pulse storms. The weather feels more like summer. A period of increased storms from the 12th to around the 16th. Tropical cyclone in the Solomon Sea, a Herald 2.0. And here is the much-anticipated segment. A new tropical cyclone is forming. Around December 10 to 12, the low-pressure system east of the Coral Sea will strengthen as it moves toward the Solomon region. It may then develop into a cyclone. Forecast models indicate heading toward Vanuatu and New Caledonia, could strengthen to Category 3 or Category 4. No threat to Australia, almost 100% safe. GFS tends to over-dramatize intensity, so we should remain cautious. But fundamentally, Queensland has no cyclone risk from this system. Second tropical system, northwest Western Australia. Another system near southern Indonesia is also given a 10% chance of forming into a cyclone. Expected direction, westward into the Indian Ocean, near Christmas Island and Cocos Islands. No impact on mainland Australia. However, it will enhance rain and storms in Kimberley and Northern Territory. Overall picture, Northern Australia wet, Southern Australia stays dry. Over the next 2 weeks, Northern Australia wet, stormy, rainy. Southern Australia almost temporary drought, including Southern WA, South Australia, Southwest Queensland, Victoria, Melbourne, Tasmania. Meanwhile, New South Wales receives moderate rainfall thanks to easterlies. In summary, Sunday will be the explosive storm day, especially in mid-North Coast NSW. Brisbane and Gold Coast likely avoid dangerous storms. Monday, risky but unpredictable, depends on cloud cover. After Deck 12, Queensland enters a stretch of continuous storm days. 2 offshore tropical cyclones pose zero threat to Australia. Northern Australia wet, Southern Australia dry. If you enjoyed today's weather report, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to VTB Tien. Your support is a huge motivation for me. See you in the next update, where we'll continue following the great thunderstorm battle in a clear and engaging way.